about bhakti, practice of kirtan, and especially the importance of how we can receive grace and how we can develop humility. When Krishna was dancing with all the gopis at the Rasa Dance, they all felt their supreme fortune to be dancing with the Supreme. Humankind, human civilization across time, we talk about God. We think about God. We wrestle with the concept of God. The gopis danced with him. And Krishna, the Supreme, he has the power to make the impossible possible. So he stopped time and said the moon became stunned at the beauty of Krishna in his transcendental dance. And the moon and the sun are under the power of the Supreme. Krishna says in the Gita, of the luminaries, I am the sun and the moon, they are like my eyes. So the moon stopped. And so it said, we cannot calculate how long the dance went. An estimation is given, something like 4 billion years. Rough estimate. So imagine how fortunate these young maidens felt in that dance. And who are they? Who are the gopis? The spiritual texts and our saints, they don't give us a limited viewpoint. Oh, they are cowherd maidens. They are the forest maidens. They are cowherd girls. This is correct. But the journey of the soul is an eternal journey. Understand? The soul is on an eternal journey. That's how Krishna says it in the Gita. We are eternal beings. So the gopis are dancing at that moment with Krishna in the form that the Supreme Goddess Sri Radha has provided them to facilitate their experience of divine love with Krishna, the source. Those forms are provided by Sri Radha, his Shakti. But the gopis, they are all Jiv Shakti, the living entities. The souls. It's described in scripture that every soul is like a spark of the great flame of source. Every soul is a spark of that great fire, spark of the sun. Part and parcel, one in quality, but minute. Where God is supreme, we are small. But why do we want to connect to source? Why do we want to practice bhakti yoga? So we are connected. So we are not just that spark separate from the great source, but now connected. Where we experience the sweetness and the beauty and the splendor of the Absolute. If we aspire for it in bhakti path, there's different approaches, but if we're aspiring for that divine love in its source aspect, which is the romantic mellow, we're all looking for some kind of love in life, and the source of love is ultimately the madhurya. The sweetest aspect of that love is the romantic love. Thank you, Chitra. See you soon. So, in the most sweetness, like we say, God is the most sweet. But how do you relish that sweetness? God allows you to be one in love, maintaining your individuality. So now, these gopis are dancing with Krishna, and Krishna is showing them so much favor. He's using his own shawl to wipe the beads of perspiration from their foreheads. He's putting his arms around their neck, embracing them to his heart. People say, Krishna, he is such a playboy, such a player. not satisfied with one woman, he's dancing with 10 million. No. God is dancing in every soul's heart. Every soul's original husband, you could say, is the Supreme Krishna God. The husband of the soul. Husband meaning how we are bound together. The body is our house, and in this house, there's two people who live. The soul and the super soul. So we are all husband. Krishna is our supreme husband. Alright, my request, sometimes we get very attached to form. Try to embrace more substance. Substantially, the soul and the supreme live together. It's described in the Upanishad. The body is like the tree of life, the micro, and within that tree, the soul and the supreme reside. So now, Krishna is in this most romantic way, embracing every gopi, dancing with every gopi, fulfilling the heart's desires of every gopi. This is the supreme benediction. Imagine, we've talked and thought and prayed and worshipped at the altar of God. And these souls, by their merit, their devotion, and by the grace that has descended, have entered Krishna's Rasa Dance. And time has stopped, and the ocean of bliss is ever rising, like Lord Chaitanya says. That ocean of bliss is ever increasing. So, because of their great fortune, they developed a little bit of pride. This is the source of separation from God, separation from each other. Pride, and the twins that come, jealousy, envy. The descent of all these emotions actually manifest into form. But first it's a rasa, it's a mood. This is how it's described in our scripture, how form comes into being. First it's a mood, an emotion. Pride takes on form, jealousy takes on form, envy takes on form. All the gopis started to see only Krishna and to neglect each other. And to only see Krishna, but to not see Radha. I am supremely fortunate Krishna loves me most. Yes. God is such a personality, such a being that he can love everyone most. It's actually said we should think like that with our Guru. Guru loves me most. But you should also think he also loves every one of us most. We have very finite love. God's love is infinite. Infinity minus infinity is still infinity. So God can love each of us most. But the gopis, it's said that this bhakti process, the devotion that we are evoking, is not a selfish interest. There's various forms of happiness or pleasure or bliss, ananda. And the happiness, pleasure, or bliss we get from pure self-interest is quite limited. But the happiness and the bliss we receive when we are genuinely concerned about the welfare of others has no limit. Anandam buddhivardhanam, Lord Chaitanya said it's ever increasing. Why? Because there's so many souls. I've heard about this a lot, and then once in a while, like, something will pop up with you, and you'll connect the dots a little bit more in terms of kind of Western psychology and frontiers of science. So they talk about mirror neurons. Have you heard of this? Mirror neurons? Mm-hmm. See, when we're all doing kirtan together, isn't that beautiful energy? Doing kirtan alone is nice. Doing kirtan just for Krishna is nice. But when you come together and you do kirtan, all together singing in harmony as one, how beautiful. So Krishna wanted to teach this. The Rasa Dance is when everyone is coming together, and not out of self-interest, but out of the interest of spirit, out of love and source. May Krishna be happy. May the Supreme be happy. And it's said that the best method to please the Supreme, especially in this age, is Kirtan. So simple. Why? In bygone ages, they worked so hard. You can read in our scriptures how people did austerities for thousands of years, standing on their thumbs. Imagine those sages, you know. They didn't have to go to the gym. Their gym was the forest. They stood on their thumbs for thousands of years praying to God for grace. But you know what? It's said that austerity alone can harden the heart. And you think it's by your merit, by your efforts that you achieve the Supreme. In this age, we want to call out like a baby for her mother, Kirtan. We want to call out like a lover for her beloved, in Kirtan. We want to call out like a friend to our friend, in Kirtan. That can help us understand the process of grace is not our effort alone. Make effort to have a sincerity of heart, to pray, to realize that actually, on my own I have no strength. I cannot stand on my thumbs. Believe me, I can't even stand on my feet half the time. Right? I need at least many hours. Flat rice, our Guru would say. Have a big feast and then flat rice. So you know what you do when you can't even stand on your feet? You can, chant to the Lord. And when you cannot do that, you can pray from the heart. Nothing can stop that. So, this process of Kirtan, to please Krishna, we should also see the interest of each other. See, Krishna is doing the Rasa Dance, not that there's this mirror neuron effect between the soul and God, you could say. In some mystical level, I'm just using words, I don't know, that we're trying to understand. But we should not think Krishna is eager to enjoy with everyone. That mentality gives very limited happiness. This is how we stay separate. Understand? I want to be happy, and everything around me, people, things, is to make me happy. Okay, good. Get a drop of happiness. Squeeze a drop of happiness out of life. And self-interest is good, preservation of self. But Krishna, he's encouraging us to see the beauty and the harmony of spirit all together, where we are looking into the interest of each other. Krishna said, everyone is welcome in the dance. So that's one aspect. This is our Guru's teaching. He said we should try to see. It's very challenging, but there's a beautiful verse. Jivana udbhega dive, para upakara nija sukha vasarive. We should try to help uplift each other, not thinking of our own happiness. And if we can really do that, we can cross over that separate consciousness, separate experience, and magnify our experience of life in a sense of wholeness. That's what we find in Bhakti. You can become whole. Right? This festival felt like, we're here as one family. Right? Celebrating, serving, singing together, taking prasad together, cooking together, sharing facility together, 20 people sharing one bathroom together, one shower, one house. So that was really the spirit of our Gurus. So in this Rasa Dance, when the gopis developed some pride, for their mercy, to bless them, Krishna gave the gift of separation. Like now he's closing the curtains on. This is a gift. Krishna disappeared from the dance. Everyone noticed Krishna was gone instantly. Why? It was like, for the first time, imagine like for the first time you tasted what it was like to be really alive. And all of a sudden it was yanked from your heart. And you couldn't breathe. Like first you had taken your first breath of life, and it was yanked from your body. Krishna is gone. Everyone saw Krishna is gone. Where's Krishna? They began to search for Krishna. Because Krishna is the subject matter of life. God is the subject matter of life. We're all looking for our source. You see it in novel or fiction or non-fiction. If a child doesn't know their parents, they have an identity crisis. They can look their whole life. I just want to meet my parents. I just want to meet my father. I want to meet my mother. As souls, our father, our mother, our source is the supreme. We're searching for that. So God is the subject matter of the soul. Krishna is our real subject of our life. Without Krishna, we cannot be complete. Without God, we cannot feel complete. But Krishna doesn't want us to just see that I and my completeness with Krishna is sufficient at the expense of others. And this can happen, especially when we develop that supreme fortune of I am so blessed. We see this in religious traditions. We are the chosen ones. We are the good people. We follow rules and regulations. Those other ones, This sense of elitism can come. This is not pleasing Krishna. Krishna doesn't see on the level of the body. Every soul is part and parcel of that supreme. The more you can develop the Lord's grace, the more you can see that spirit within everyone, within every blade of grass. This is true universal spiritual teaching. It's very hard to recognize each other, but what we can do is we can recognize the supreme. What is the highest ideal of something? Something we can all agree upon. You imagine there's 10 million gopis and each one's thinking, whose fault is it? Why did Krishna leave? Perhaps. Someone messed up in the dance, someone said something to Krishna. It said Krishna was dancing so amazingly that it was like either he had manifested 10 million forms or he was dancing so swiftly like it was like a firebrand. So when you take a firebrand, the light is everywhere at once. It's both. But he wasn't dancing so swiftly like he wasn't paying attention. He was dancing so swiftly, like I'll give you another pop culture reference, like The Flash. Right? So fast. It's complete on a different timeline. So he can be with each person, fully present, completely, like you see in a movie. It's all just shutter rate, right? What do you call it? You know, how many pictures are you taking so it makes it look like a video? So imagine Krishna's speed. That he's with each person, fully present the entire time. But he disappeared. Krishna had the desire that the soul should understand his real nature. And his real nature is that he is not God alone. God as a personality does not make sense without his Shakti. God as a personality is only there with his Shakti. And actually, she is our source. He is our source, and she is part of him, and he is part of her. Our gurus would say Sri Radha is his counter whole, not his counterpart. Counter whole. But they did not know her. They were born in that land of Vrindavan by her grace. Their forms were manifested by her grace. They were dancing with Krishna by her grace, and she is very happy in that. That is her desire, that all souls should meet with Krishna according to their relationships. Krishna had the desire to show them her glory. So as they were searching in the forest, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? They came to such a stage of divine madness. They lost sense of self as separate from Krishna. It said that gopis began to imitate him in his pastimes that he had performed from his childhood. One gopi would take on the role of one of Krishna's pastime partners, and one gopi would take the role of Krishna. They entered even beyond that, such a state of madness, they could not remember, who am I, who is Krishna? But then they continued to search in the forest, and finally they came upon a little clearing in the forest, and they found Sri Radha. Srimati Radhika was senseless on the ground. Some had heard of Sri Radha, some knew of Sri Radha, some had seen Sri Radha. Some were very dear followers of Sri Radha. Everyone felt their own different emotions at that time. And it said, in that moments of great despair, great sorrow, you can feel sympathy. The gopis saw her condition and they sympathized. Why? They also felt separation from Krishna. What was the cause of that separation? Pride, jealousy, envy. Which one of us is best? We're always kind of judging each other, judging ourselves. This judgment nature causes so much suffering. Love, grace, mercy flows where there's humility. Our Guru would say, the rain will come, and first, where will it go? Where will it first touch? The top of the mountain. It doesn't stay there. The rainwater may hit the top of the mountain, may hit the rocks, but it will flow down to the low places. Our Gurus give this example. Grace flows where there's humility. And humility isn't artificial. In bhakti, sometimes we're trying to evoke feeling. We can rub chili powder on our eyes and evoke tears that way. You can cut onions also. It's good. Some tears may come, but really the heart should melt. So the gopis, seeing the condition of Sri Radha, all their hearts melted. And they were thinking, is she even alive? They thought, we have felt so much separation from Krishna. But here we are standing, breathing, with our senses. Some gopis went to Sri Radha and placed like a flower by her nose. Is she even breathing? Checked her pulse. Her pulse, it said samadhi, means when the saints go into trance, the pulse slows. It may be years before the heart would beat. They go into that kind of stasis. Is she even alive? And then all the gopis who were having some rivalries, they saw that some slightly younger gopis immediately jumped into action and started to care for Sri Radha. And gradually she came back to her external sense. And she began to weep and weep. Where's my Prananath? Where's the Lord of my life? Hey Krishna. She began to weep and chant. This is the source of Kirtan. It said our Mahamantra, this comes from the prayer of Sri Radha for Krishna. When Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna, she will chant the Mahamantra. We can chant together.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
This Mahamantra, this is Radharani's spell to bring Krishna to her. Krishna doesn't have to chant the Mahamantra because he has his flute. So when Krishna plays his flute, he calls all the gopis and all the cows, all the Brijavasis. So what do? We don't have flutes. We can all try to play the flute and call Krishna, but it doesn't work. You have to use something more than that. You can't use Krishna's weapons. Radharani came as Lord Chaitanya, the mood, Krishna came, But really Radharani's mood, Krishna is more like the witness. In Gaur Leela, it's Krishna. But Krishna is witnessing, mostly. Many, many years. It's Radha Bhav. So he's not playing the flute. Lord Chaitanya is not playing the flute. He's calling out Swanama Sankhya Japa Sutradhari Chaitanya Chandra Bhagavan Murari. Chanting Krishna's names. Anga Upanga Ashtra Parshada Sangha. It brings the weapon of what? What's the most powerful weapon in all existence? Krishna's names, the names of God. So Radharani chants these names. She woke up. Our Guru would say, when Radharani went into Samadhi, she's experiencing separation and she's experiencing meeting. Because the body is meeting, this is one form of meeting. And generally when we're looking at each other or talking with each other, dancing, then the consciousness, the mind is also present. Unless you're in cloud cuckoo land. Right? So body's meeting, then we think this is meeting. But our Guru would say, actually, meeting is in the heart. Even if you're meeting face to face, real meeting is something that goes on in the heart, in your inner world. And so when Radharani is in the stage of Samadhi, she's entered that stage of Samadhi because she could no longer bear the separation externally from Krishna. She couldn't tolerate it. At a certain point, there's like a pain threshold. And after that, your body shuts down. So it said the pain of separation from Krishna, a moment of separation is so intense that it's like a whole age is passing. Yugaitam nimeshena. In 1/8 of a second, it's like 1,000 years are passing. So Radharani enters Samadhi. And in that stage of Samadhi, in her heart, the soul enters back into the heart chamber. And the bodily functions go into like rest, full rest. And what is the soul doing in the heart? Like in the body, there's a house, but in the house, there's your own room, your bedroom, your safe space. That's the heart space. So Radharani is meeting with Krishna there. Our Guru would say that meeting is real. If you're feeling separation from God and you're praying to God, God is not far away. He says in all scriptures, in all faiths, I am present in your heart. So Radharani was meeting with Krishna. When she came back to external senses, now she's lamenting. I was meeting with Krishna, now I'm in this horrible, desolate land. All the gopis saw the glory of her love, felt sympathy because they had experienced that separation as well. Actually, we should think, on one level, pride in our good fortune is also good. It's just one threshold we have to continue from. One thing I always remember from my teacher is, don't become attached to the level of spiritual life you get to until we completely reach transcendence. We should try to go up. Keep going up. So pride is good. We reach a stage of development, we should be happy. Yes, very good. Self-worth, pride. I did it. That's very good. You can't falsely achieve humility. Real humility will come when you have sincerity of heart, genuine feeling, devotion, and you get a glimpse of the Supreme. The gopis got a glimpse of the Supreme in the form of the devotion and pure love of Sri Radha. That is what is supreme. Radha and Krishna always have this debate, who is superior, who is supreme. This debate is useless. What is the highest thing is? What is the highest love? What is the highest devotion? They all recognized that in Srimati Radhika and said, "Oh Radhe, please give us your shelter. We will all serve together under your shelter. And all together we'll do kirtan to pray for Krishna." Not higher and lower, recognizing each other's good qualities, will encourage all of us each other. And they all went together to the bank of the beautiful river Jamuna, and they began to sing. This is Kirtan Festival, Gopi Geet. They began to sing Jayati te dikam Janmana Braja Shrayata Indriya Sashvadatrahi Taita Drishyatas Dikshutavakas Vasavas Tam Vichimate. He sang very beautifully. He said all the gopis were singing simultaneously. No preparation, no sheet notes, no melody prepared. Why? This is Srimati Radhika's song to Krishna. And all gopis, all souls who are in that Madhurya Ras, they should understand that actually, when we're saying the soul is like a chit gun, which is like a spiritual particle of the Supreme. Srimati Radhika from her heart is manifesting that song and that mood in every gopi's heart, and all together they're singing to Krishna. Very plaintively, very beautifully, as one, with one heart, one mood. Only how can I please the beloved? How can I serve the beloved? That this is the Rasa Dance. Lord Chaitanya said, an ocean of bliss is waiting for you. Why are you trying to collect drops of happiness in this world when there's an ocean of bliss waiting for you? Those drops of happiness is when I'm only thinking about I, me, and mine. Everything in this world is food for my enjoyment. The gopis, under the guidance of Sri Radha, they all sang. Why? How? Real Bhakti Yoga means water the roots of the tree of existence, and then naturally all hearts will be nourished. Everyone will be happy. This is the purpose of our Kirtan festival. Through the water is the Kirtan. And what are we doing? We're pouring the water of this Kirtan through our voices to the roots of existence, Krishna, so that Krishna is happy, and then that happiness naturally appears and manifests in everyone's hearts. Why? Because we are in Bhakti Yoga, connected to Krishna through devotion. Right? If Krishna is happy, we say, Yasmin tuste, Jagat tuste. If Krishna is happy, everyone is happy. What does that mean? Everyone connected to Krishna will be happy through Bhakti Yoga. This is what we're doing in our festival, that we are not working very hard to achieve something. We are putting aside all our karma. Let karma take rest. This karma mentality. It said this is one stage of devotion or action. Krishna says this in the Gita, Yat Karosi, Yat Asyasi, Yat Shahosi Dasyat. Do everything for me. Do everything for me. I am the doer, and God is receiving the benefits of my work. I will offer incense to God. I will offer lamp to God. I will offer flowers. I am God, and I am providing him with benefits. In Bhakti, we should cross over that mentality and think, Shakti is doing everything. We should align with her mood, her desire to please the beloved. We should serve Sri Radha to please her beloved Krishna. Actually, we have no strength with what are you doing anything. To breathe requires Shakti. To eat requires Shakti. To walk, to do anything. We are just soul, consciousness. We are trying to evoke feeling, devotion. But everything, all existence, all actions ultimately coming from Srimati Radha because she is Kriyeshwari. So if we want to be blissful, if we want to enter that ocean of bliss, we should offer our heart to Srimati Radhika, and she has a very good process for that. She's very merciful. She's arranged all our Guru Varga. She has arranged all this transcendental family, all religions, all incremental steps towards realizing the Supreme. So we take shelter of Srimati Radhika and pray for her grace. Mother will give milk or nourishment according to the needs of the child. So we should have a broad-minded spirit towards humanity and all of life on earth, and think that Shakti, the divine form of the goddess in her different forms, she is providing the nourishment to all living entities so that they can gradually evolve to their highest perfection. That is her arrangement. We should not try to impede or alter or control her process. We should not try to see, I am good, others are bad, this religion is good, other religions are bad, this path is good, this path is bad. Discrimination is on one level, but on the highest level, there's no discrimination. The highest sages only see the spirit. They see everyone as part and parcel of that supreme, and they only think, how can I help lead people one step closer to real happiness, which is you coming into that yoga or connection with the supreme. Our Guru in Vrindavan, our dear Prabhuji, his mood is that we should try to help people understand that we are in one family. This world is a big place. So naturally, we were talking this morning, family can be very messy. Right? Family is very messy. So sometimes people go, oh, you're all in one family, then it should be beautiful utopia. No. That's not how it works. Family is very messy. You want to have a very clean, sterile life, then don't have any family. Find yourself a cubicle somewhere, go punch in, punch out, put on your blinders, don't talk to anybody. Then you'll have no problems, no relationship problems. Why no relationships? Right? You want to have no problems in relationships? Have no relationships. So family can be messy, but we should try to gradually develop a broader sense. Our Guru would say, try to develop this sense of universal consciousness, love, bhakti. Krishna says in the Gita, see the spirit in everyone. Don't just look, who is man and woman, higher, lower, equal, not race, caste, creed. He said, all these are secondary, all bodily dharma, not soul dharma. To access the dharma of the soul, in this age, we do it through kirtan, and many traditions do it in many ways. We're not saying you have to chant in Sanskrit with us. For us, that is our path. But God is God, and God is one. You imagine there's like a parent, mother and father. Can they not understand the language of their child? Cooing even no language. Crying is a language. So kirtan is the language of crying to God. Okay? Kirtan is the language of crying to God. And many traditions will do it many ways. One time our great saint Bhaktivinoda Thakur, coming from the 1800s, he was actually glorifying the Salvation Army. He was saying they're doing such wonderful Sankirtan. He was a very world thinker. He was a great saint in Bengal. And he predicted that this would spread. He said, I want to see when this kirtan path spreads to the Western countries. And when people of different backgrounds, different countries, all come together and sing as one world family. And he was glorifying Salvation Army. He was saying, I don't know how, I guess there were still newspapers back in the day. Telegram. So he was glorifying them, saying, look how wonderfully they're chanting the names of God in their tradition, their faith. He said, this is how we are most pleasing God. Why? Because through Sankirtan, we're helping each other, helping all the different souls in this world, even those who don't have human form of life. We're not at that stage of evolution. We're also helping them by these names, the names of God, different traditions. That is the source of real kirtan, nam-kirtan. Chanting these names, that everyone may go a few steps closer. Why? Everyone has to walk their own way. So, kirtan and bhakti yoga will help the hearts of the souls in this world become ready to walk closer to Krishna, to walk closer to God. So we're praying that we can do that. Our teacher, I was just in India on Krishna's appearance day, he said, ultimately, people are welcome to join to whatever level they want. Living in Vrindavan, that means achieving your transcendental form in Vrindavan. Naturally, there are things we have to give up if you want that. What does that mean? Even this body will have to give up. We cannot dance with Krishna in the material body, it's transcendental. So something is given up in spiritual life to achieve something much greater. But that's only on a voluntary basis. And actually he said, moreover, Krishna danced in Ras Leela with 10 million gopis. They ought to all be gopis. We didn't hear he was dancing with men, dancing with elders. Only Kishori gopis. Why? Swarup Shakti had manifested perfect form for Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is not like that. Lord Chaitanya says, dance with this body, and doesn't matter. Lord Chaitanya will dance with everyone. And Lord Nityananda will dance with everyone. Lord Chaitanya may pause and think, should I dance with this person or not? Lord Nityananda doesn't even pause. Lord Nityananda, he'll bring you into the dance and start dancing with you. Lord Nityananda, Krishna's brother Balaram, but also taking shelter of Srimati Radhika. Because she is ultimately Adhistatri Devi of our parampara. Srimati Radhika is, Lord Chaitanya is the supreme guru in our lineage, and that is Srimati Radhika running pilot. Krishna is only co-pilot. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna's co-pilot, and before he does anything, he'll ask permission. So Radharani is really the pilot of our parampara. And Lord Nityananda is also in her shelter, and he also serves Radharani. He is Krishna's elder brother, but he is Radharani's younger sister. You see the hierarchy here? Lord Balaram is Krishna's elder brother, but when he's serving Sri Radha, he's younger sister under Radha. So Lord Nityananda, he'll dance with everyone. Lord Chaitanya, when he said, go out and preach, Lord Nityananda said, yes, I was just waiting for your instruction. He was just waiting. Immediately, he went out with Haridas, Namacharya, and he went to the drunkards, Jagai Madai. Not just drunkards, womanizers, dacoits, the terror of the town. They were there like the godfathers of Navadvip. And Lord Nityananda said, I'll make them mad with praying. 2-3 days, and he tolerated so much, they tried to kill him. They tried to kill Lord Nityananda, but one of the brothers, Madai, he had some softness in his heart. And when his brother Jagai was trying to kill Lord Nityananda again, they threw a clay pot and Lord Nityananda was bleeding. It was like, you can imagine, this described, Lord Nityananda is so beautiful, like a golden mountain. And then it was like this, it actually was transcendently beautiful, and he was in transcendental ecstasy. But hearing of this, Lord Chaitanya came, and Lord Chaitanya had taken a vow that in this incarnation I will never harm anyone. We see when things get so bad on earth that incarnations of Vishnu have to come, generally they have to kill demons. When things get really, really bad. But Lord Chaitanya, in this incarnation, Radharani is running pilot. So she said, Krishna, no killing. Okay? No killing anyone, Krishna. Stop. But Lord Chaitanya, he tried to take Lord Chaitanya tried to, call his Sudarshan Chakra. It's also Radharani's energy, actually, in Jagannath Puri. On Radhastami Day, Sudarshan Chakra will come out and do Prikrama like Radharani's Swarup and then come back to Jagannath. Sudarshan is Radharani's Swarup with Jagannath. Hidden, because it's pure energy, pure Tej. Lord Chaitanya invoked his Sudarshan disc to cut the head of Jagai Madai. And Lord Nityananda fell at his feet and grasped his feet and said, no, Prabhu. Ebe astara nahadinilo. In this incarnation, your weapon is not this disc. Your weapon is prem, love that is infused in these names. That is your weapon. That will drown the whole world in bliss, Ananda. So Jagai Madai received prem and began to weep in ecstasy. Haridas Thakur, he had complained the previous day to Advaita Acharya, Nityananda is a madman. He has no sense of discrimination whatsoever. In spiritual life, you should be able to discriminate. Good, bad, what to do, what not to do. Nityananda had none of it. None. So he said he's going to the worst people. We should go preach to the Brahmins. The good people. Help the good people. Rules and regulation, etiquette, Cleanliness, sterile, very clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So we think the clean people are the good people. No. That's not Nityananda's mood. Body is clean or not clean. As long as the soul is not in transcendental life, the soul is not going to be happy. The soul is not clean. Chaita dharpana marjana. We should purify our heart and cleanse our soul. Bathe our soul. So Haridas Thakur said, Nityananda is a madman. Advaita Acharya said, yes, but you don't know. Lord Chaitanya is also a madman. You're outnumbered. Advaita Acharya is thinking, yes, and I am also a madman. Some etiquette is there why balance is necessary. So Advaita Acharya is representing etiquette by the balance. Nityananda is pure Rag. So Advaita Acharya said, tomorrow you'll see 2 drunkards will be dancing with the other 2 drunkards. Nityananda went to Jagai Mara because he's also a drunkard. And Lord Chaitanya is even more of a drunkard. So tomorrow they'll all be drinking in the street and partying. So when Jagai and Madai received this divine love praying, they stood up and began to dance and weep in ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya, Sudarshan, very happily went back to his abode where it said Sudarshan Chakra is always hovering over the heads of the devotees, protecting them. In that mystic space, everyone began to dance in ecstasy. So this is our path. Uttama adhama kichana panchino. When there's a river, then you see land, river. But when there's a flood, everything becomes part of the river. So Lord Nityananda breaks open the dams, all the walls, separating people from the worthy and the unworthy. If I follow spiritual life well enough, I am worthy. And then I am also worthy of judging others and telling them they're not welcome. That is not Lord Nityananda's mood. So Lord Nityananda broke that. He brought everyone into this. Lord Chaitanya is so merciful that everyone can be part of Lord Chaitanya's family, Lord Nityananda's family. Our Guru in India said, eating meat, not eating meat, what is the problem? This is the dharma of the body. What is the dharma of the soul, and how will you awaken the dharma of the soul? Don't look at these external things. Only give love. How? Through kirtan. Why? Our efforts to give love are very small and weak and mixed, not completely pure. And we can also be bound in love with others and pulled down into the material aspect. So how do we give love? Through kirtan, through Mahaprasad. Let everyone in this world take Mahaprasad. Prabhuji in India, this time he said, oh Hari, said, if I had the money, I would feed hundreds of thousands of people everywhere, all over the world, every day. So, Gaur Premanandi, Hari.